just learning about generative AI. And so I'm just giving you a brief about what role of generative AI is there in defense, and defense forces are looking, Indian armed forces are looking to, as like Sumit has just given you a brief about like how the enterprise segment is actually looking at generative AI. So there is a lot of buzzword around India and globally also, how generative AI will help defense forces to do a lot of works. So the primary area in which generative AI right now people globally are looking is into national security strategies. Then we have enhancing cybersecurity, training, simulation, and logistic optimization. So we'll cover the slides and we'll discuss. So this is one of the statements that has given by the head of DARPA. DARPA is an organization of United States of America who works with the development of strategic technologies. So generative AI is something which is, it's not a panacea, it's not a silver bullet. So you cannot solve everything with generative AI or AI technology. It has to be a balanced approach. So that's the main theme in which globally people are looking at generative AI. So it is not like everything you cannot, if you have a problem, you cannot say I can use it only with the generative AI or with the AI technology, but there will be a balanced approach. So generative AI, if you see, as it is a hype word and the buzzword, so it's had got a massive potential and everybody is betting on it. So around $7 trillion of global economy, there will be value addition from generative AI. Strategic advantage, it will give you an acceleration for synthetic maintaining strategic advantage. And for defense, it is a very ideal use case. If we see, like if we go with the background of defense, there are a lot of data which is available there. There are structured data. So in defense, if you say, there are raw data available, but they are very structured as we compare to the any enterprise segment. So you have data available and data volumes are very high and it is repetitive. So if we have something, if you say any operation has to be done, so data is there and those tasks are very repetitive. So these tasks are done manually. So there are a lot of digital transformation which is happening inside the defense forces globally and also in India, where this repetitive task is going to be removed, and we will be using technology like generative AI and the language, like a smaller language model that like Sumit has explained, that has got a very relevant use case for defense. Like you are, because if you say generative AI, there are a lot of data which is there we have to go on cloud and internet. And in defense, there are a lot of classified informations. So you cannot give all your data to an open domain. So the small language models that you see, there are a lot of applications which are there where smaller LLMs will be, people are working, startups are working with the defense forces to develop this kind of model, and there will be a lot of use cases. So in this, if you see generative AI application, you have one of the biggest challenge for defense forces is the knowledge retrieval. So suppose I am an expert, I know the complete machinery of a fighter aircraft. I have been trained on this for 25 years. I have the expertise. But my lifespan is in the forces of only of 14 years. So I have to transfer this knowledge to the people who are at the ground. So that knowledge retrieval is the biggest challenge right now. And a lot of companies are working in that particular forum to have those information and build those kind of training modules for the defense forces. I'll give you an example that we as an organization, we had started working with Indian Air Forces for Agniveer. So in there, they have a challenge because these people are coming fresh from the colleges, and Indian Air Force was recruiting them. So we had done a small pilot project where we have to develop a training module where you have to create those things like aircraft maintenance project. So we have to digitize everything and create an interactive platform for them. So if you see, these kind of use cases will come when generative AI and the small LLMs will come into picture, and government armed forces are getting adaptive to use this thing. Second is the document generation. So there are a lot of documentation process which happens. So in military, if you see, everything has to be documented. There are a lot of SOPs it needs to be followed, and which has gone into, like, right now it is all manual. But if you see all the files, if your file system has been digitized, we are using in defense forces now using the e-file process. So you have the data available with you. Data has been digitized. Now there is a step for using these kind of application to create and give added value to the forces. So the first and foremost, again, things will be enhanced situational awareness. So in situational awareness, if you talk about, like even Sumit has explained, like what we have is, if you are having on an operation and you are doing, there are a lot of activities which will happen. If I'm at a ground level force, you have to have different sensors available with you where all data will be coming to the operational forces, and there you have to decide. So suppose I am at an operational level, so I have to have that decision-making capability at the ground level. So at that time, you have that data which is sitting at a central repository, but currently we don't have any kind of things which is there for the task force which is at the ground level. So those kinds of things our defense forces are looking for, and the research and R&D work is going on where this kind of capability which is at the war room, at the central level, where you have the decision-making capability, that will be transferred to the task forces, which is at the operational level. The second and most second thing which is there and which has been used by defense forces, and they are using with AI from last 10 years, is logistics, where if you see any operations or any large movement where there is a planning for movement of troops. So there is a typical case study where these defense forces users, they called as a war game. So these war games are basically mathematically modeled. So, and it starts from moving of like 10 to 12 people, and it can go up to 1,000 people with all the arms and ammunition. So those movement and everything is basically modeled mathematically, and it is readily available there, and we are using it as an AI. So there are a lot of companies, like there is one of the company which is working with the armed forces is MASA. It's a French company where they are using AI technology to give you the logistic prediction. So suppose I have to move the 1,000 people from Delhi to the border area. So it will give you the shortest path planning. It will give you how much will be the time, what is the ground situation. So those kind of capabilities are already there. But once this generative AI technology will be there, so these data will be then will go to the operational forces also. Right now, whatever it is happening at a central location. So and third will be it is the cybersecurity aspect, in which a lot of investment is happening from the armed forces, where it is into the predictive analysis they are using. So it will be it is basically we are looking for the companies who can provide the solution where you have both as a predicting the threats and also as a counter acting. So if you have to defend and also we have to attack, then this kind of technology armed forces are looking to give in the cybersecurity space. Then next is the generative AI in intelligence. So intelligence data, if you see, there are a lot of data which is available with the military forces from the satellite. So in the satellite, what happens is, suppose if any armed force has to do an operation, so we have data which is available from last, suppose 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years data, which is available with the forces. So, and at those data, we have to do an analysis. So those analysis, what is happening right now is, it is being done manually. So you have a person who will be sitting at the data and looking at the data and giving you certain, if suppose there is a movement there, so those kind of alert right now it is in a manual basis. So we have this case study where we can automate those things and give you those alerts can be prompted. Now the second will be in the data synthesis. So once this data, if you suppose if we have a complete 1 year of data, now you of one particular area, and you want to train your model onto that, and you have to create something out of that. So in that case, generative AI will be helpful. Now, again, when this technology is being used globally, so one of the things which is discussed also is the how accountable is military is there in have using this generative AI. So these three things are also discussed, like accountability, legal framework, and ethical principle. So because see, once we have these automation, like if you see what is happening right now at the Ukraine war, like there are a lot of autonomous weapons has been used, like autonomous weapon, autonomous drones has been used. But what happens is, like, suppose there is any operation and there is a casualty. So if there is no human interface is there is no human in loop. If it is only AI, then who will take the responsibility? So because if we are using AI in military, this accountability part, the human in loop should be there. And there are legal framework. Right now there is work it is going on, like US has a group of 16 countries where this legal framework internationally has been worked, how to use the autonomous system, how to use this AI into the military, and also the other group is China. So China is working, India is working with the US into that. So these are the potential downsides of military AI. Like one, I had explained like that this is the autonomous weapon. Second is the bias in the battlefield. So what is happening if you see, there are a lot of news which is coming from Israel and Gaza and other places also. So you have an AI model, right? Where you have something, you had a facial recognition system, you feed it like for the if there is any movement of any dark skinned people, then fire. So this kind of biasness is there in your model. So this is not ethically correct actually. You cannot train your AI systems with those kind of biasness in religious or on your skin basis or anything in a on that. And third and the most important thing is, like we had seen 20 years back, there is a lot of arms race happened for the nuclear, and now it is happening for the autonomous system, weapon system and AI. So we have the global polarization that is happening. One side it is US, and secondly it is China, where you have data available for the US systems, but we are not having any data available for the Chinese. And India, if you say, it is a great threat for us because China is our neighbor country and there is a lot of threat, and our government is, that's why we are opening, government is opening for collaboration with the startup system to advance in this particular field and create more autonomy to the Indian government. That's all. So any question you have?
Yes.
Hello, thanks for this session. So, in case of military operations, means we were discussing this concept. So, hallucination is, I think, one of the major things that can hamper or can cause a lot of violence at least.
Yes, yes. If you see hallucination, because as Sumit has explained, for this kind of application, like right now, if the defense what is using is, and they want to use it, is under small LLMs. It is not like, no, there will be not very large data set. So your machine has been trained on a very specific data set, and there has to be a human intervention into that. So hallucination, I say as like it is for like ChatGPT like application or like Gemini like application, hallucination is more common. But in a specific domain, if we shorten your training data parameters, then hallucination I think will be in the lesser side. Sumit, what do you say?
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
So now you have 175 million parameter large language model. So anything in single digit billions seems to be small consideration. Um, and even if you this GPT-4, ChatGPT-4, I think there is no clear information in terms of how many parameters it is coming with. But the insider information is 1700 billion parameters, right? So I think the small language model is going to be a relative term, but in today's context, if you look at the kind of models available, they start with millions of parameters to at least single digit billion parameter. So this is how people are defining small language model, but that's gonna change. And I can tell you the moment small language model which are efficient, if they are possible within 1 billion parameter capacity, this will disrupt the Gen AI adoption. And I think I see it in coming in next 1 year. No. So I think when I was talking about this 5.3, if you do quantization on top of it, let's say 4-bit or 5-bit, it get reduced. You just need 2 GB RAM to run 5.3. That's all, right? Yeah. So when you deploy it, there are two element to it. One, you are training it. So that is training part. Once you are deployed, you are inferring it. So that inference is all about consumption. So for inference, you simply need 2 GB RAM. And that's where they are putting it now into your smartphones. If you see Galaxy 25, it is coming with Gemini Nano. So it can run on a phone. It will do a lot of things locally within the phone. That's all. And it can extend a lot of use cases in a way that the moment you need something which is not in the capacity of this, you go and extend and leverage the capability of external LLMs. But then you put in the right governance in terms of filtering out the kind of information which is going out. You can be super selective. Yeah. So that's where the multi-agent architecture or the need of orchestration will become much more stronger going forward. So I think
Yes.
if you see some trillion of parameter, 3.3 trillion was 5.3. But then I think what I love about 5.3 is, or rather 5 series is, I mean, it's not the ideology is focus on the quality of data rather than the size of data, and that's where the beauty will come. So if you can have more qualitative data, potentially you will reduce these. So you are putting in more efforts in your data engineering space. You are putting in more how you are curating your data set. So that's where you are going to put a lot of your time, and it will give you the possibility of doing more and less. So you'll give less example, but then it will learn more. And
Certainly.
wherever you feel there is a need to extension, then you can leverage search engine on top of that capability if your use case demands more. Yeah, yes. So you're not building it. So 90% of the time you are extending it, right? Base model, foundational models are available.
If, sir, if you see the base model, the ChatGPT has, if you see the creation, so they had downloaded entire thing which was there at that time on the World Wide Web. So you can see the amount of data it has used already. So now it is all the extension part we are looking. So we are using it like from a base to the next step. So it will reduce that. Yeah, because compute is also, if you see, like the NVIDIA has come up with the new GPUs, and so, and the chips is also in size that is getting reduced. The power, because these all are power hungry and core hungry device. You cannot run without that. So that if the cost of that is coming down, and like NVIDIA is working very like it's everything. Their share has gone up because of this only, of the new GPU only. Yeah, correct. Yes, yes, correct. Even I had seen one interview with them in which the founder of OpenAI, so they are also trying to come up with their own chip. Yeah, so they will have their own chip for, yeah, to run these models. Correct.
Hi, thank you so much for covering such an interesting topic in GenAI and defense. Heard Elon Musk say in one of his interviews that war is economic. And, given the current geopolitical situation, whether it's Israel-Palestine or Ukraine, Russia, do you have any generic information of how they are using GenAI in their defense and open information of how India also stands on it?
See, if you say there's no as an open information, but see, if you can see the news, there are a lot of autonomous like Kazakazi drone, if you see, and if you see the swarm drone which is happening. So the attacks through the drone, it happens through the AI only. There is autonomous weapon. What you do is basically you program these things like what the one example I given you. In the facial recognition system, if you feed the database of all the people who are, suppose if I say this particular hotel is my base threat area, and whatever the people who are coming inside them, I take this data for 1 or 2 days, feed into the system, and if I see, you have to fire. So that kind of capabilities are coming into the system, and these things are already been implemented by Israel and Ukraine. So there are systems which are available. So even if we see in the intelligence domain, there are particular systems which are right now capable of tracking individual to a location, to pinpointing that we are sitting in this hotel, this particular room, not even the hotel. If they have the capability that it will pinpoint you that you are at the basement 2 at this level. So this kind of capabilities have been given by AI, so, and it's very dangerous. That's why I say if you see, if we are not use, it is going in a hands of like other people, then it is very, very like threat to the systems, to the society.
I hope that answers your question, and it's quite dangerous to understand. Yeah. Okay, we have a maybe other question.
Sir, so what is the difference between if a missile is fired? Does it also use AI? And if not, then what extra capability a drone is using?
See, if you see the missile subsystem, it is very complex. If you see a drone, it is, you are comparing something with a aeroplane and with a, if you say, bird.
An air-to-air missile.
Yeah. So if an air-to-air missile, there is a lot of.
It is also using a seeker, and your kamikaze drone is also using a seeker.
No. See, if a missile has been fired, there is a ground level system. You have a radar system which is working at your border, and you are having a command center which is feeding you entire system. There are a lot of sensors available. It is not that missile has been fired and it will hit the target with its own. At the back end, there is a complex system which is working. In the kamikaze drone, what happens is you just gives the target of GPS 1 to GPS 2. Suppose I need to fire at this location. I'll just program it that from my location, I will give a GPS, the location of this hotel. It will go and fire it. Huh? Sir, ये यूक्रेन नहीं है, sir. Don't worry.
Because
we are in India. No.
I think we can trap you.
Huh?
I think we can trap you if you give this example.
No, no, see, the
See,
missile
in case
subsystem.
of BVRs, uh, to some extent, aeroplane guides the missile, but after some extent, it uses the seeker.
No, no, no.
Okay,
See,
it becomes independent when it start using the IR seeker. Okay,
IR
so
seeking
what
is
extra mechanism is implemented on a drone?
in
That
drone.
is also using some of the information only, no?
No, in drone, if you see, drone has a GPS system. Every drone which flies has a GPS system. It is not an IR system. IR is something where you have a heat sensor. If you are like your remote, you have an IR, a thermal thing. So if I'm firing a missile, if you are a flying body, your temperature will be more. Then the missile it will not go into the sky, it will hit you because it is comparing the IR data, thermal data. And in drone, it is only the GPS data. Just like your mobile, you want to go from this place to that place, it uses your GPS location. Drone uses that only. There is no other intelligence in that drone. The suicidal drone.
Yes, yes. To extend my question is what I want to know is what extra capability the drone is using.
No, the drone is using only the GPS to GPS firing. So if I am sitting at, see, drone will have one autopilot.
I'm asking about AI. What AI the drone is using?
That's a giving example. There are two type of drones. There are two types of drone, which is flied by pilot, okay, where you have a system, a laptop, where you program it, you operate it from this system. This system can be complex system where you are guiding that drone, you are flying that drone. Second is a autonomous drone, where what you do is just program the path. You just have to program that point A you have to define here and point B you have to define there. And once you throw that drone, it will automatically, they have the GPS sensor, it will fly from point A to point B.
Missiles also does the same, no?
Provided because you're not planning to create a drone attacking bot.
The missile has a very complex system. It is not, it works with the ground station level. There is a lot of radars which are monitoring you, giving you the feedback. It is not like a normal GPS system. It is not.
But we are pre-feeding him the information that we want to pass it on.
Pre-feeding at the time of firing only. But before that, there is a lot of data which is coming to you. In a drone, there is not so much data that is coming to the missile system.
It's okay, my dad will explain him.
Yeah.
Correct.
Live decision making, you can say. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So ending this note on missiles and bots. So yes, closing this session. Thank you, Ashish, for the wonderful enlightenment. And I would request Rishi Chadda to please hand over a token of appreciation to Ashish.